I have seriously taken my time not to be quick in this judgment of this WhatsApp group, and coupled with the interview or talk or whatever show I'll call it under the freeze yesterday by Oga Paulo, Iyabo's significant other or husband. Listening to him yesterday and also listening to Nigerians, what Nigerians have to say, and also listening to this other guy that's called Sam Cliff and others, K Solo and the rest of them, the ones that actually were sincere about the mistakes they made, and the ones that still believe that they have not made any mistakes, like Sam Cliff, for example. So I've really taken my time to listen to these people, this group of people, and the ones that have decided to keep quiet and decide not to say anything for now. I'm still taking my time to listen to them before I make my own analysis about this WhatsApp group. In the first place, there's nothing wrong in creating a group in order to be able to control what your intentions are, what your plans, your motives, your suggestions, what you need to do, because you want to talk to Mr. A and Mr. ABCD. Sometimes it's easier to be in a group to hear everybody's opinion, to gather your opinion, your views. It's easier to have a group to communicate through that group. But it is now what that group decide to do with the group. It is either they continue with the purpose for which that group was formed, or they deviate completely from the cause or the reasons for which that group was formed. We all can obviously see for the few posts that VDM released to the public, we could see that some people were genuinely in there for finding justice for Mohbad, while others were in there to get revenge or vendetta against Naira Marley for whatever he did to them. I don't know. That is not why I'm making this video. They know personally and privately what that guy, it's not really my... Let me just leave that alone. I don't know him, but his lifestyle is that the way it's misleading his lifestyle and the way it's misleading the youth of Nigeria is what really don't, I don't like. Nothing else. Nothing against Naira Marley. But you still see some people still came to that group. They left the purpose, the reason why they were added to the group, and they were discussing other things. They were trying to shut some people that were very vocal. Those people that were speaking against, for example, asking for DNA, and they were asking for DNA from Wumi Egypt. Not only, it's only VDM that did that. So they tried to shut him up by releasing his whatever to the public, right? And the one that disappointed me more now, that what is it called? Davido's manager, whatever they call him. You see, so what they did inside that group was totally wrong. Let's be frank. What these people did, some of them came to that group and were saying, come on now, my people, it's despicable, it's evil, and it's totally bad, wrong. Remember that this person we are talking about is a human being. That person could be your son tomorrow that this evil happened to. So instead of you coming into that group looking for genuine justice for him, you came to that group looking for revenge, trying to get revenge at somebody that offended you 2 years ago, even before Mohbad passed away. You were trying to create this narrative, distractions to place on this other person. What this other person did is wrong. Bullying and beating of Mohbad is totally not acceptable. And I think that they should be held accountable for that. The Mohbad released video where all of us see. And I still believe that the Nigerian justice should do something about that. If not, if they go scot-free, they walk, somebody will still repeat the same thing that these guys did to another carpenter's son, to another bricklayer's son, to another driver's son, because they feel that these people do not have a say, because they feel that these people don't have somebody that will come out and speak for them. Okay, I'll come back to that again. Let's move to what Paulo was trying to do yesterday. I see what Paulo was trying to do yesterday as damage control. Yes, it's like your nyash door open for market. They try to take that torn wrapper that is used to cover, fish or pear or something or corn because of flies. They try to cover the nyash where they open for market. It is not the WhatsApp group that is bad. People create WhatsApp group. In fact, I will have a meeting in 25 minutes in my WhatsApp group, my church meeting. But it is what you discuss in that group that matters. You create group to benefit people, not to bring people down. Right? You create group not to manipulate or to set up somebody for the crime they didn't commit. If you guys were in that group saying, okay, this guy did not buy Mohbad, but the bullying, he has to pay for that aspect, Nigerians will not be talking about WhatsApp group or no WhatsApp group. Okay, let's go back to what Paulo tried to do yesterday. Now, Paulo is saying that we should forget everything that has happened. Okay, before that, he said that the nurse should be interviewed. We always been saying the same thing, that VDM should try and get an interview from the nurse. Because some people are coming out to say different narratives. That the nurse was paid to take a fall for the buying of Mohbad. The nurse will be the only person that will be able to clarify that. Well, if she come to lie to Nigerians on that interview, it is between her and God and her conscience. So a lot of Nigerians have been saying exactly what Paulo said yesterday, that she should be interviewed by VDM, just like he did with the others. See that low do what they call Adura. I don't even want to enter that one safe. Then another thing that I did see yesterday was the damage control that Paulo, Oga Paulo, I respect you, sir, that he was trying so hard yesterday. Some things he said, I agree with. But there are things he was saying that I totally disagree with. You can't just tell somebody to move on just like that, where their pikin don't buy. After the demise of their child, just say, oh, just forget, forgive and move on. This life does not work that way. Even if that person is going to move on, at least let us give him a kind of a closure that the person will see and they will say, oh, okay, I think I've gotten a little bit of closure to what actually died or how a son or his son passed away. You don't just, how that person, that man, that woman passed away. You don't just come and say, oh, forget, let's move on, let's forgive. It is difficult. If that man tells you he's going to forgive, he's lying. Because you heard him in that interview. He said that if somebody died, if something happened, that anything can happen. That was what he said. Let me not say something he didn't say. And with that, you could read different meanings to anything if it happened to anybody. That was what he said. So, for example, I think somebody said, yesterday, what was that guy's name? Paul. Paul be named for Daddy Free Show. I love the question he was asking and the other guy. God forbid, if it was a Yabo Ojo or Paulo's enemy's son that they died like this, or that died like this, would they not have found what actually died their son? So when they talk now that they should move on, they should forget and move on, sometimes imagine that this thing that happened to you. Just imagine that it happened to you. Is it because Mohbad's father is a poor carpenter? The man no get connection. That is why he's being treated this way. Even the way they said that man was insulted in that WhatsApp group. What about property, Mohbad's property? Why are you forming a group and you are concerned about Mohbad's property? Are you Mohbad's wife? Are you Mohbad's family? You are not his father, no, neither are you his mother. Why is Mohbad's property coming up in that group? Why? Una plan to sell the property and share the money? So there is so much that is in that group that VDM has not released to us. A lot of people are saying, VDM said, I have evidence what bad Mohbad. And they are saying, Mohbad doesn't have the evidence, is manipulative. Even in the court of law, you reserve the juicy part for the last episode. Do you think Mohbad will just come up now and start telling you, oh, it will just drop it, but this is what caused by Mohbad? No. He will tell you the step by step to what led to the passing of Mohbad. It will give you the step by step to what led, the conversations, what happened, what transpired to the passing of Mohbad. Intelligent people will understand how VDM is working. Those of you are saying it's trying to clear what it be named Naira Marley. It is very obvious. Nobody is disputing that. It's trying to clear the fact that, yes, trying to clear the obvious that he wasn't present when Mohbad passed away. Because everybody don't talk. Even Paulo said it yesterday that the guy was outside the country. He was lucky because if he was presently in Nigeria at the time, the way a lot of people were angry, God forbid, but now only gonna know Naira Marley for day now. So as I was saying, the juicy part is normally reserved for the last minute. So VDM is not just going to come out now and just give us see we take by Mohbad. No, it's not going to do that. So my people, some people are saying VDM is very manipulative. It should release. Some people are saying that it should release the last part of the WhatsApp. Me, and for that, I want VDM to release it. Because if it does not, there's no way people can have closure. Especially now that we see all the conversation that each and every of these persons, what their thoughts were at the time, what each of them was saying, their contributions. So we won't see the end of this conversation on this WhatsApp group. And another thing I want to say, you see this guy that they call, this guy that is saying he wants to give 50,000 to whoever knows who released that. He should be ashamed of himself, because I'm really disappointed at him. I don't know him before, but as a man, as a matured man, you should have just kept quiet. And the damage control that this man was trying to do yesterday, Paulo, I'm not sure if you just come, if you not even answered that the phrase to come to that show. No, you shouldn't have, because a lot of Nigerians saw through what you were trying to do. Or maybe you just made that first comment that the nurse should be interviewed and just leave it at that. You leave it at the fact that the nurse should be interviewed and let everything just rest at that. Instead of you saying that the family should just forget and move on and bury the young man. No. That young man was assumed from when he was buried. They brought him out. He's still there. He's a cadaver right now. We all know that. But the end to this investigation must be revealed. The WhatsApp group must be revealed. The nurse must come to Nigerians and tell Nigerians exactly what she knows. Because Wunmi told us so many different stories. Initially, it was ear infection. Secondly, he died at the hospital 10 or 20 minutes after they brought him to the hospital. after they brought him to the hospital. Then Iyabo came out and said, no, he died in the house. So who now do you want us to believe? Is it the, okay, another one is the nurse that died him. Another one is they embalmed him without the father knowledge. Who does that? What do you want Nigerians to believe? Who died Mohbad? What actually happened to him? Did he die of ear infection? What was the diagnosis at the hospital? What did the doctor say actually died him? After they worked on him for 20 minutes, that means he was alive. They found a pause for them to be working on him for 20 minutes before they eventually pronounced him that he passed away. So what was the cause of death at the time in the hospital? And thirdly, what died him in the house? Because Iyabo Ojo told us that the camera CCTV was outside. The CCTV was not going to turn around and come inside the house and see what happened and Mohbad died. So you see multiple stories that people are not saying that are lies, even if one of those narratives are true. But because there are so different stories regarding how Mohbad passed away, so people are not, that is the reason why people are not saying that Wunmi is the cause of Mohbad passing. Because she's not saying what actually happened to her husband. Especially with other people were saying that there were a lot of BMOOT in the duvet, in the comforter, in the house, and Mohbad t-shirts. Why would Mohbad duvet be covered in? If not that, they probably cut his vein and on his neck. Somebody put this thing to cut him there, stab him there, and everywhere. They said it was even in the wall of the room. So there's no little cut in the hand that will spray blood like that. It has to be a strong and bigger vein that was cut that will spray blood, that will make an individual to lose such amount of blood in that house. So you see why Nigerians don't believe Iyabo Ojo. You see why Nigerians don't believe Wunmi. You see why Nigerians don't believe that food called, what they call it, that Olodo, called Adura, brother, that is supposed to protect and defend his brother. You see why people are insulting Mohbad's mom. Because Mohbad's sister told us that Mohbad's mother was commanded by Wunmi to go and be washing her son's shirt. And duvet. Wunmi told her mother-in-law to go and be washing her son's shirt and duvet. When your pikin dey ground, lie down lifeless. So what was important to you was to go and be washing the duvet. You see how they have, they contaminated the evidences, all the evidences that the police would have used to work. They knew exactly what they were doing in that house. That is why Nigerians, you people involved Nigerians, that is why Nigeria must have closure for themselves. And Mohbad's father must also have closure. They cannot just settle and sit down and settle like that. They must tell the man what actually happened to Mohbad in that house. Please share this video for me. Share. God bless you all.